Rebecca Carter was only 28 when one ordinary grocery trip changed her life forever. 6 weeks after giving birth to my daughter Lily, I was driving home when a speeding delivery truck ran a red light and slammed into the driver's side of my car. The impact crushed my vehicle, shattered my collarbone, broke several ribs, and left me with a serious concussion. I barely remembered the sound of twisting metal before everything faded into darkness. When I opened my eyes in the ambulance, my first thought was not about my injuries, it was about my newborn baby. Lily was at home with my elderly neighbor, Mrs. Wilson, who had only agreed to watch her for a quick trip to the grocery store. Now I was heading to the hospital with no idea when I would return. Fighting through the pain, I grabbed my phone and called the one person who should have been there without hesitation, my mother. Instead of concern, I was met with annoyance. She told me she was at a luxury spa with my sister preparing for their Caribbean cruise the next morning. Even after I explained that I had been seriously injured and begged her to pick up her own granddaughter, she refused. She claimed I was always dramatic and said responsible parents should have backup plans. Her vacation was apparently more important than her daughter lying injured in an ambulance or her helpless 6-week-old granddaughter. Heartbroken, I realized I truly had no family to rely on. With the help of a paramedic, I contacted an emergency newborn care agency I had saved months earlier during my pregnancy. Within minutes, they arranged for an experienced neonatal nurse to care for Lily. Unlike my own mother, these complete strangers showed compassion without judgment. They reassured me that my daughter would be safe while I focused on surviving. At the hospital, my husband Ethan immediately flew home after hearing about the accident. He never hesitated. Watching him drop everything for us made me realize what real family looked like. That night, lying in my hospital bed, I made a decision that changed my life forever. For 9 years, I had secretly been paying my parents' mortgage and car payments through anonymous automatic transfers totaling $4,500 every month. They never knew the money came from me, but they happily enjoyed vacations, shopping, and financial freedom while believing life had simply worked out in their favor. After everything that had happened, I canceled every payment. Instead, I opened a savings account for Lily and redirected the same monthly amount into her future. For the first time in years, I chose my own family over trying to earn love that had never truly existed. Later that evening, my grandfather arrived. After learning how my mother had abandoned me during a medical emergency, he immediately canceled the expensive cruise he had purchased for my parents as an anniversary gift. When I finally confessed that I had secretly supported them financially for nearly a decade, he was stunned. Furious, he confronted my mother and gave her 24 hours to apologize. When she refused, he changed his will, leaving almost everything to me and Lily instead. My parents and sister bombarded me with calls, accusing me of destroying the family. None of them asked how I was recovering. None asked about Lily. They only cared that the money had stopped. I blocked every number. As months passed, my parents were forced to sell their large home, downgrade their lifestyle, and return to full-time work because the financial support they had taken for granted was gone. Meanwhile, my husband and I continued depositing that same $4,500 each month into our daughter's education fund. Instead of financing people who never appreciated me, I was investing in the child who would always know she was loved. Nearly a year later, my sister wrote me a heartfelt letter. After our parents began demanding money from her, she finally experienced the same manipulation I had endured for years. She admitted I had been right all along and apologized for never believing me. Although I accepted her apology, I chose to keep my distance. Some wounds heal, but trust takes much longer. Today, Lily is growing up surrounded by people who genuinely love her. My grandfather visits every week. My husband's family is always there when we need them, and our home is filled with peace instead of guilt. Looking back, losing nearly $500,000 hurts, but gaining self-respect, healthy boundaries, and a real family was worth far more. I learned that love should never have to be purchased, and the people who only value what you can give them were never truly family in the first place. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply building a life where the people around you choose each other every single day.